1, 2, 1, 2.
This week, just for a change, we're looking at a musical icon, a cult figure who is finally achieving the acclaim that he long since deserved. Welcome to the world of Peter Perrett and the Only Ones.
I think I'm on another world with you. I'm on another planet with you. Another girl, another planet, another girl.
The Only Ones burst onto the scene in 1977 with this barnstorming single, Another Girl, Another Planet, described as being the best rock single ever recorded by one music encyclopedia. A fabulous 3-minute sort of burst of tuneful noise, which came at the height of punk. They made 3 albums, 2 of them brilliant, and were always acclaimed as being a great band for the purists, for the people who liked punk but with a bit of intelligence in it. But they never made any money.
I've only written songs in decades that begin with an odd number. So, it's hard to build a career on sort of absences of over 10 years at a time.
Did you do nothing in the 80s then?
No.
It's an awful decade.
When I was like in hibernation or cryogenic suspension, I didn't touch a guitar, didn't ever play guitar, didn't listen to music.
I suspect the drugs didn't help them very much. They were renowned for copious quantities of drug use, and it culminated in one tour of America in 1980, which put Spinal Tap in the shade. I think 2 members of the band were arrested on that tour, and that was the end of the Only Ones.
When we got back together, for the first year I was still using drugs, because when they came round I was using drugs. And I said yes just so that they'd get out of the house and I could have a smoke of crack. I got a thing from the publishing company in like 2002 offering me $100,000 for American Express to use it for an advert, and I didn't sign it.
That would have come in handy though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, obviously, but I would have spent it by now, because I was still taking drugs back then.
Now, it's a wonderful thing that you're playing with your sons.
They had to grow up very quickly. Like, we were the children, they'd look after us. When they were like 5 years old, 6 years old, they'd be looking after us.
Because you were not necessarily part of this world at that time.
Yeah. They had to fend for themselves, which is, terrible thing to say, but miraculously they're well-adjusted human beings.
Sitting in my cell.
Feel a lot of warmth from them, and if you're playing music, it is great to be playing music that you're passionate about with people that you feel passionate in their company, and I find it really inspirational.
The only time I'm well is when you're near.
They started off spending 3 months in Babysham when it first started, and that was an eye-opener for them.
That's the other story, of course, which you get saddled with having to tell now and again, that you had Pete Doherty sleeping on your couch for a while, didn't you?
No, he had a proper bed. He wasn't sleeping on the couch. He had his own room and a bed. I just thought I could help him. I thought he was hanging around with the wrong sort of people, wrong sort of crowd. Typical junkies, I thought he was somebody who was an artist who just happened to take drugs, but he actually was enamoured by that lifestyle, which took me a while to find out,
But you were, weren't you?
No, I never wanted to be, associated with that. I mean, at the time in the 70s when we started, I occasionally took drugs, but I never wanted to become addicted to them at all.
You became disillusioned with Pete, didn't you, Pete Doherty?
I just probably met him at the wrong time. Do you know what I mean? When I met him, he was very self-centred, obsessed with being famous and becoming a celebrity, which he did.
The number of rock bands who cite them as enormous influences are legion. The Replacements, REM, Suede, the Others, and lots of the new indie bands from the beginning of this century.
There's a new generation of people that are exploring the past. Every time I have woken up and rekindled my passion for music, it's always been with a renewed vigour, like I was doing it for the first time again.
Yeah.
And that's always the most enjoyable time, is when you're doing it for the first time again.
So Peter Perrett has finally played at the Albert Hall, where he was interviewed and played a few songs to people who revere the man, much as I do. And he's playing live with his sons in the next few weeks as well, including next Friday at the Hybrid Garage in London, and then a date in Manchester a bit later. Go on, go and see them. You know you want to. That's lovely. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.